All right, I'm in the Stateside Classic Tournament. I'm in the weekend round in the rookie division in my Prox account. I'm gonna play. I may play 9 holes and then play my main, and sometimes I play 18 holes and then play my main. So I just kind of play it by ear. So hole number one. Hole number one is Vineyard Acres. Hole number three. We absolutely, positively, mandatorily have to get an eagle right here. There's no two ways around it. So here's the thing. This tournament, every tournament's minus 12. You got to pick up hole number one, and hole number 9 is a par 5 with an eagle opportunity, but it's a birdie hole, so that drops us back down to minus 12. So that means minus 24. That means if we want to have any shot at a banner, we got to be at minus 28. We got to pick up 2 per side. That's not always how it works, but in this particular tournament, I think 28 or better, we're giving ourselves a shot. Now, there's no guarantee, but you're giving yourself a shot. Obviously, if you can shoot better, minus 28 plus, then you're giving yourself a serious shot. But for top 5, top 10, possibility for a banner, just depending on bracket, minus 28 is where that conversation is going to start. So I came in, I did not have good tiebreakers coming in, so I'm going to have to shoot the minus 28. That means I have to pick up 2 per side. So you can't drop anything off the minimum score. You just can't do it. You can't do it. It's not feasible. May have to buy it back so we can get. I think I'm going to be a couple kingmakers short. Off we roll. Hole number one. 5 rings off, 3.5 topspin. Maybe 3 and a little teeny bit of tops. 3 3/4. Less than 4. Let's try for 3 3/4. That might be me. That is me. So 3.5, 3 3/4. 5 rings off. 3.7 mile an hour wind. It's 1.5 per ring. So there's 3. There's 3.5. A max curl. Hitting a 1 ring grade on the inside. And 1 ring grade on the inside is problematic. I moved out 5 rings because I'm trying to give myself separation right on this right there. And while it looked like that was a mile off, it was actually a lot. That's not a good spot. 3.5 topspin is all I want. 3.5 rolled me out a little, or 3 3/4. 3.5 rolled me just a little short of being pin high. And 3 3/4, almost 4, ran me past it. So 3.5. I like 3.5 better. I like putting up to the cup, and it's a shorter putt. This hole right here is dangerous when it gets long putts like this. That doesn't look like it's a long putt, but the way that this green putts, that is a long putt. Now they can move their extra miling. They had it like right around 2 rings. Now that was with the adjustment for the wind, so it's going to push them out another 1.5 rings. Almost 2 rings. And the reason that they need to pinch it in there is because they don't have as much curl. So they're going to end up on the left-hand side right off the pin. Right off. A little farther than they would have liked. We both have some work to do. I actually think I have more work to do than them. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Eagle. I will tell you, that was not an easy putt for me. I'm not a really good putter. Putting has never been my strong suit. I'm good at a lot of things in this game, but putting is not. I'm an average putter. Some people might argue I'm below average. I like to take short putts. I'm used to taking short putts. That's why I'm not very good at the long ones. See if my opponent can get in from there. They're expecting that wind is going to play a factor. And the way the wind's blowing, it's not going to affect the ball that much. I mean, very, very little. If they hit anything great to the right here, even on a perfect, they might miss on the outside cut, but that great to the right there, I mean, that should miss cleanly on the outside. I think in that situation, I would have pointed straight at the flagpole. Good luck in the tournament. All right, that was hole number 1. Hole number 2, let's check it out. Hole number 2. Let's see, did we win a chest there? We did win a chest. What is hole number 2? Hole number 2 is Vineyard Acres. Hole number 1. All right, let's quit dicking around on this. 27.5. I am like, I'm going to go back to 25% wind adjustment times whatever the wind is. 1.25 times whatever the wind is divided by 1.9. I'm taking a Grizzly and a Navigator. Now, I believe I have some. Nah, I don't have any in this account, so I'm going to just take a Navigator. Clubs, Grizzly. One of these bags must have a Grizzly in it. Off we roll. Grizzly and a Navigator. That's all I need. It's 1.5 backspin, 1 left-hand side spin. I have been all over this hole. I have been right on the outside edge on the left. I've lipped it on the left. I've lipped it on the right. I've been within a ball width on both sides and have not been able to get this ball to go in the hole. Part of that is the changing winds. That's my opponent. Opponent goes first, using a Goliath. That was an eyeball adjustment. Anytime you have to put curl into a shot, and on that shot you don't, because you got side spin available. Anytime you have to put curl, especially using a Quasar, which has 2, it lowers your chances of repeatability. You want to try and do these shots without any curl. Okay, times the wind. 3.2 equals divided by 0.9. 4.44 rings. 1.5 backspin. 1 left-hand side spin. I'm going to line that up to the cup. It's 4.44 rings. There's 4. Hitting it perfect. See if we can get that in the cup. Get in the hole. I think it's going just on the freaking left-hand side. I have been right on that side right there. That was an overpull. Overpull. Make a note here. I'm gonna make a note here. 1 per on the back. It'll lower me down. In the hole. Slight little overpull. Arr! That hole is just pissing me off. You want to catch those. I'm not really, to be honest with you, I'm not really interested in getting a hole in one on them every time. I mean, I think like some of these holes are very hole in oneable. I just want to get a hole in one on every hole on all these par threes at some point in the weekend round. So like I need to get a hole in one on all 3 of the par threes, and I'd like to start that off early. I got to pick up 4 shots, and the par 4s in this are pretty tough. The other 2 par 4s are tough par 4s to get eagles on. They're not like hole number 1 where you can get on and make a putt, or it's a short little chip. They're tough, and only one of the par 5s has got a really decent opportunity. Hole number 9 does have an opportunity to pick a shot to get up to eagle, but this tournament's tough. You've got to get a hole in one on these par 3s, and I'd rather start getting it right at the beginning. Hole number 3. Hole number 3. Santa Ventura. Hole number 9. This is the wraparound hole. Yeah, I'm going for it. I don't know which way the winds are blowing. I'm going to use this bag right here, and I'm going to take a Titan. Now, I've got those community balls. I bought some of those community balls, 4, 3, 2 wind. Let's take one of those. See if we can get over to the other side. See which way the wind's blowing. In the opening round, we were getting a headwind, at least on one side. Now, they said the winds were going to be consistent on the front and the back in the weekend round. So, that's not a bad wind. It's not necessarily helping or hurting us. Two five. It's about a ring and 2/3, right along the red line. I hit a 1 ring great to the right, and I have more room on the right, so if I'm going to hit it one side or the other and still end up getting out to that fairway, the goal is to try and get over there, but you really need some help. So that wind was not helping me. If you can get far enough up on this side, you have a long iron shot from this side. But I don't think I'm far enough up. I think I'm going to be in minimum wood. And from this angle, my wood doesn't have enough backspin, even with 100, to keep me from, if I miss, to keep me from going over into the sand. If I can get my long iron up there, and with the way that the wind's blowing, if I can reach the hole with my long iron, I can try for a dunk. Because it doesn't hit as far as the wood, that means the backspin's more effective. You have more room on the right, so that's going to clip right there. There's only enough room in that shot setup, though. The shot that I set up, there was only enough room for 1 ring great to the left, and anything worse than that, and you're in big trouble. No, not quite enough distance. You can see from here, I don't have the nymph to get up there. It's 1.1 per ring. There's 3.6. There's 3.7. That was an overpull. Because I'm close to minimum club, but I just want to get, at this point on this particular green, the whole deal is that from that angle, I could get super aggressive with the cup. I could have came out with my long iron and tried to do the bounce over and try and get aggressive to it. But this hole right here, I found when I try and get aggressive to it, if you mess up, for my game, it's better for me to just go for just secure my eagle and move on to the next hole. There's going to be a certain percentage of the people that aren't going to get eagles on this hole. This is going to be a hole that's going to eat people's lunch. I don't want to be in that group. But it's going to be a super small percentage of people who get an albie on this hole. Very small. More people are going to end up with a birdie than an albie, for sure. I think in 100 people, there might be maybe 1 to 3 that are going to end up with a an Albie, but there's going to be a bunch that are going to be like my opponent. They're going to be right here in big trouble. And you can make that shot, and I've been over there several times this week in the rough. But they're in big trouble. Their whole round is at stake right here. You cannot afford to drop minimum score. And there's 2 holes in this tournament, this hole and hole number 8. I think it's not in hole number 8, but the mid par 4, hole number 5, that are super dangerous holes that you go out there with the best of intentions to try and get an Albie or to try and get an eagle, and the next thing you know, you're at par because they're big, suck you in holes. That might be in the hole. Excellent. Nice job. Nice shot. Recovered. Saved their round right there. That'll work. You know they're happy. All right, hole number 4. Now, hole number 4, this par 3, I really like this par 3, and I had an epic fail on it earlier this week, and something is going on. Hole number 4, Santa Ventura, hole number 4. Something's going on this hole, and it's not responding like it was at the beginning of the week. I need to think what the deal is. I changed the shot at the beginning of the week. I'm doing a backspin shot here, so let me just go set it up and let me just take it and see what it looks like. It's actually, when I started the shot off at the beginning of the week, I wasn't putting any side spin on it, and then I put one right hand side spin because what it was doing was it was hitting where it was hitting. Everything slopes off like this, and so where it was hitting, even though I had max backspin on it, it was because of the slope. It would hit, and it would automatically move in a left-hand direction. And even though it was backspinning, it was still releasing out. And so here's the flagpole, and it would pull it off to the left. So when I put the one right-hand side spin, when it hit the ground, the side spin didn't take effect until it hit the ground. And the second it hit the ground, even though it was at max backspin, that right-hand side spin stopped the ball, and then the ball drops straight down the hill. And now what's happening is that when it hits, the left-hand side spin's actually pulling it to the left, and it's dropping on this side of the cup. And over here, you can get into the spot where you're on the ridge, and you've got one of these putts where even though you're short, you've got to do this type of deal in order to make the putt. And I don't like those types of putts. And I also don't like that it's pulling it off the hole. So I'm going to try this shot. I'm going to do it with a little less side spin. I'm going to be like half a right-hand side spin. And you need to take the shot with it. I can take this with a Titan. It just doesn't have as good a wind. But I'm running low on Kingmakers. Grim Reaper. All right, here we roll. 1.8 per ring, 10% wind adjustment. See which way the wind's blowing today. It's my opponent. Oh, we got a due tailwind today. See if my opponent goes from that side. Most people will hit this from the right-hand side. I personally don't like the left-hand side. I don't think that this is a very good way to go at it. I've seen people hit hole-in-ones from over there, though, so I mean, it's not that you can't get it in the hole. It's just that's not my preferred way. One-on-one over here from the right. They've got curl on their ball. They got just a little bit rubbing up against the nubs and curl. A little short, a little to the right. Okay, max backspin. I'm going to do a half a right-hand side spin. Max backspin. Okay, 2.6 equals divided by 1.8. It's 1.6 rings. There's 1.5. There's 1.6. Hitting it perfect. See if we can get it in the hole. See if it runs back true, and it's still running to the left, or excuse me, to the right. Got my distance right though. That corner where I was starting at the beginning of the week, that upper corner, I hit 2 hole-in-ones on this in a row. It's almost like I'm over pulling for that wind from that spot. Maybe I should just do the 1.8 per ring. I'll put an X through that and do the +0 on the back and see how that responds. See if I can get closer to the cut from my main account. Try and learn some stuff. All right, that was hole number 4. Hole number 5. What is hole number 5? Santa Ventura, hole number 8. Hole number 8 of Santa Ventura. All right, this is the one I was talking about where we have some serious risks of getting into some shit. It is an eagleable hole, but it's a tough eagle, and this shot coming in over here is not my... I play this on the blue side so often. The only time I ever play it on the white or the black side is during tournaments. And I really have never really liked that shot going in there. I came out here the other day. This is funny. I came in here on the front side and I did a dunk. I went to the blue line over here and I tried to dunk with my Guardian. You got plenty of room to suck back on if you miss the dunk, so there's no risk. And I hit it perfect, but I was off. I was short and the way the wind was blowing, so I added on 20%. So on the back, I did the 20%. So here's the flagpole, and here's the cup, and here's the edge of the cup. The ball came down and hit at ground level, hit the flagpole right there at the bottom, and came out and bounced back and clipped the edge and went straight back into the drink. I mean, like literally left the flagpole and went all the way back straight into the drink, and ended up out of bounds and had to take the shot over again. But I was right there with the 20%. I like the dunk shot. I think the epic fail was I mean, that happens when you're trying dunks, but let's see if we can get it to go in instead of not. I better bring a 3 power ball just to be sure. Just to make sure I'm up in my range. In my main account, I'm playing it to the right, and I'm actually bringing out a 5 power ball and trying to get all the way in front of the green where you're with a wedge. And I am not doing the rough bump with the wedge. I'm doing a backspin shot with the wedge. Not full backspin, but just enough to get me so I'm on the green. I've had problems with that rough bump over the years. That rough bump has caused me some issues, so I'm not a big fan of it. Two. I think I went all the way up to my red line. There's 4-2, and that puts me a little bit into power. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. Easy long iron range or a wood shot for a dunk. I actually got up there a little bit farther than I've been getting up. these two shadows right here, I usually try and be right in between them, but I actually pushed myself forward. I may be in my long range up there. I'm doing the shot that my opponent's doing, trying to get over to the other fairway. And what I found is that 6 topspin, well, with this little bit of headwind, they may have to put a little bit of overpower on it. But with 6 topspin, we'll have to see if they bleed off the front. Get one ring great to the left. It's not this first bounce here that's the problem. It's the second bounce. If you hit to the left, you can run off the end of the fairway easier. It shortens up on the left-hand side. Fantastic shot. Nice shot. Nice shot. That is the area that I'm trying to get into in my main. I'm right at minimum club. It's 1.3 per ring. So it's 1.2 times 3 point equals, and my guardian hits 1.5 per ring divided by 1.5 at minimum club is 2.4. .4 rings. Let's try and get lined up. There's 2.4. Ah, hit it great to the right. I had to snap it off. It was already flashing red when I went to set up, so I had to snap it off. I have no idea because I don't want to look up and divert my eyes off of it, so I know, like, I can see the red flashing up in the corner. So once I've set my shot up, I really haven't paid attention to it up to that point. If it's not flashing red, I know I have enough time to let it go by a few times, get into a rhythm, but if it's already flashing red, I don't look, even if it just started. I probably had enough time. I could have let it go by and hit it on the second time by. I don't know what the Ren rings are on a skewer, so I have no idea. That seemed like a big pull, though. That was a couple rings. So that great to the right might have helped them. Whew. That's close. That's brutal. Oh, shit. And I was a little short. I have to go back and watch that video and see which way the wind was, but I was a little short of the hole, so I don't know if I over pulled that based on the way that the wind was blowing today. It's a draw. Now, see, this is the deal. I'm not playing bad, but you have to pick up something. And we're already on hole number 6, and I have not picked up anything yet, so this is disturbing. Got 4 holes and I've got opportunities here, but hole number this next hole is the hole. Got to pick up Juniper Point, hole number 5. Need to get the Albie right here. And I like this hole. I'm taking bag number 3. I want everything accurate except for that big tappa. And I'm taking a Titan, the king of balls. When I get to the cup, it's either going to be in my sniper or my grizzly, and I'm doing a 10% wind adjustment. And theoretically, I should be in max grizzly, which is 0.9 per ring, or I should be in minimum sniper, which is 1.3. In a lot of the spaces that I'm in, spots that I'm in up there, I could go with either one, but I typically use my grizzly. As long as I can get my second bounce, there's a trap up here by the green. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for my second bounce to be past the trap. I don't want to hit the fairway and then my second bounce hit just to the left of the trap and then roll up to the green. Because if you're off trajectory at all, that second bounce, especially if you're off trajectory to the right, that second bounce is instantly in the rough. So I want my second bounce to be in front of that rough area, in front of the sand. I don't want anything to do with that sand. Should roll out nicely. You do not want to get caught in the rough over there because there is no exit plan. Top spin is the order of the day, and a little bit of right. Okay, it's 2.5. It's 2.1 per ring, so it's a ring and a fifth. I'm going to put the forward moving power back in. Just a little teeny bit of overpower and a little teeny bit of right hand curl. Just rubbing the nubs. And what I'm looking for is that second bounce to hit cleanly, and it will. And just give me some forward run. That's where you're looking for right there, where you hit the ground, where you're coming down, where your bounce is coming down, and it hits one of those pockets, one of those moguls. And it catches it at the same angle so that instead of bouncing up, what it does is it just slides across the ground. You pick up a lot of distance. We see that on a lot of holes. There's some courses, I mean, it can cause you big problems, and there are some courses in this game that have that effect more. I can't remember, it's City Park. I think the City Park holes, that course right there is where that effect really came into the game. We never really saw that before then. And those City Park holes came out, they were the Winter Links, I think in 2017. And then they rebranded them as City Park. Those holes are very similar to this course where there's a bunch of tough holes. Okay, there's mid, grizzly. Mid grizzly, and mid grizzly is 1.1, so 1.1 times 4.4 equals divided by 1.1, back to 4.4. There's 4. Getting it perfect. Let's see if we can get that in the cup. Come on. Come on. Pushed it off. Not a big enough wind adjustment for that wind. We'll have to raise that up on the back. See what we can learn from the backside. I made several albies on this hole this week. This really is of the par fives. Unless you can get to the right spot on hole number 3, this really is your only decent albie shot. If you can get to the right spot on hole number 9, I think you have an albie shot there too. But I have not been able to get to that spot yet. The wind has not been cooperating. All right, that was hole number 6. Hole number 7. Hole number 7 is a par 3. Let's see what hole number 7 is. Juniper Point, hole number 7. Hole number 7. All right, this hole's been pissing me off too. I'm almost half-ass tempted to go for the rough bump here because this shot coming down from the bottom is it's just literally pissing me off. It's like sometimes you're supposed to do a wind adjustment, sometimes you don't want to, and sometimes it wants to curl one way and it doesn't want to do the thing, and it's starting to piss me off. So I'm switching. I'm going to switch to a marlin ball because something just isn't right. I can always switch to a navigator. I've been using a navigator on it, but sometimes I find when you're in one-on-one play and you're playing with a marlin and you're sinking shots, and then you get out there on the course and you change to a better ball, you're in a different part of your club. So the numbers could be slightly different. So if you were at max club with a marlin, you're at 85% or 90% when you've got a navigator. And that can change it just that little teeny bit. And I usually use a sniper too, but see how they're up into their white ring is into the rough? I like my white rings to be wedged. I want to be as low on that hill as I can and try and be right there at the point of that crotch. There is a little teeny area down there that's half-ass flat. That looks like it might have the right graphic. Close. Close. Just a little bit too much of a draw. One and a sliver. .8, 10%, that's 3. It's 3 rings. Getting it perfect. And just on the outside, just a little bit of an under pull. Make some notes here for the backside. Now you've got all of my hopes laid up on the backside. I'm going to have to shoot an 18 on the backside in order to pick up. I still have a couple holes here, and I like my chances on both of these holes. Hole number 8 and hole number 9, but hole number 8 is a difficult hole to get an eagle on. I have picked up some eagles on hole number 9. I actually won a tournament one time by getting the eagle on hole number 9. That was number 9, or number 8. Hole number 8 was hole number 9 of a tournament that we played. Vineyard Acres, hole number 7. This hole right here. Made a par 4 as our final hole. And I've changed what I'm doing. I showed at the beginning of the week, if you're a QB, gets you right out there in the middle. You got a ton of options that you can do if you take a QB. I'm going to take a Titan just because Power 3 doesn't hurt. And I want to take all my backspin stuff. I'm trying to get into my Grim Reaper range. That's why I'm bringing the Power 3 ball, because it helps get me more into my Grim Reaper range. And I wrote some notes down here. 2.5 topspin. 2 rings off. Bubba, the Bubba ball. I'd like to see somebody get a max overpower hook shot going on this. I don't think we could get on, but I think there used to be a shot we could take through the trees that would bleed us out there, and we could get into our minimum long iron, sometimes short iron range, but that shot hasn't been there for a long time. They changed the trees. They switched balls to a more reasonable ball. They're hitting really low, so the lower you hit, the more you're going to get thrown to the left. And the farther you are to the left, if you end up in the rough like that, the more difficult that shot becomes. Depending on your rough iron, it could be a very difficult shot. That ball doesn't work as well as a katana. Just because I'm going to need to be out a little bit further because I'm looking for, I'm going to still be 2 rings off, 2.5, 3 miles per hour. Max curl. Hitting it perfect. See if I can dig myself around that corner far enough to get into long iron range. Trying to cut that corner off as short as I can. With a 3 power ball from right there, I'm at just a little, I'm not quite mid, kind of in between mid and max with a long iron. That's not going to work out well for them. That grate to the right actually helped them. Well, not so much. It gave him a better spot down there at the bottom. Okay, I'm right at max. Excellent. All right, that's 3 cuts up. Let's try that spot. 3 per ring. Grim Reaper's 1.8. So there's 3/6. I'll go a ring and 3/4. Hitting it perfect. And get a good read on that spot. See if it comes back towards the hole. Ooh! Just a little. I set it up right up here in the corner, and I needed to set it up so that it was up with the pin. I was trying to get it to do exactly what it did, where it was just, it would roll, it would stop, and then roll straight down the hill. Just enough room. See if my opponent can get in from there. Not likely. See if I can get it in from here. This is not the eagle I was looking for, but at least I got a consolation prize and won a chest. Now, hole number 9, with my main account, I'm actually going to try and get on the green in 2. But in this account, I don't have power 5 balls. I could use one of those power 4 balls. Let's go check the hole out. Not sure which way the wind is blowing. Vineyard Acres, hole number 9. If we're getting any kind of help at all, I'm actually in my main account trying to get over to this spot right here, and I don't care where. I just want to bleed out into the fairway. If I'm in the fairway anywhere right here, then I've got the shot that I want to do. So, and if you fail out here, you can easily get up into the same area that you could if you were laying up. So there's not a lot of risk. The only risk here is that if you clip the rough up here and end up short in the rough, now you're talking about probably trying to have to dig up into here, as opposed to trying to get forward, because if you try and go forward from here, you're probably only going to get here and you'll have to curl it around the trees. You don't really have a great shot. You could try and do the same shot where you get up into this area, because over here you can clear the trees and you still have a shot to go in. This is going to be with a long iron or wood as opposed to the short iron, but you'd have a shot at it. I'm going for it. I got nothing to lose. I'm going for it in my main account. I'm going to go for it here. If the wind is blowing so shitty that it's just not going to happen, then I'll switch. Then I'm going to take, so I've got this bag right here. This is my layup bag. And I'm going to start off with a power 4 ball. And if I use my QB, it's 1 top spin. Let's open up that pin chest. Get some commons rolling. Let's open up that. Empty a slot out. Never play without an empty slot. I have no idea what I get in chests. You got to open up tons and tons of chests. Let's see what I got in my max club card. Trading in 300 Vipers. Let's see what I get today. Yeah, you got to choose an APOC. APOC is one of 3 or 4 epics that every time it comes up, I'm investing in it. Obviously. Off-roader's one. The big topper I've got to level 7, and I'm not sure. I need to really kind of sit down and look at like the level 8s, like what it gets at level 8, but at level 7, it's dramatically better. It was worth the, and I didn't get it a lot in the store. A lot of it was just from opening up tournament chests. I got Big Topper is one of those clubs. Everybody's got their own luck on certain clubs. Like some people just get like that club. They got it early, and for whatever reason in their thing, it's like that's their lucky club. They seem to get more club cards for it. I don't know that that's true, but doesn't it seem like that? It took me 2.5 years to get an Apocalypse, but I got a Spitfire the very first day I ever played Tour 6. Tour 7, I got a Nirvana. Yeah, I mean, and I got my Nirvana from level 0 to level 5 in a week. Just playing. I mean, it was like in every chest I opened up, there was a Nirvana. Every chest I got. One. Some clubs you just seem to get more of. It took me, I got an Apocalypse, a Thor's Hammer, and a Cataclysm. Those are the only 3 cards that I didn't have, and it took me 2.5 years, and I got all 3 of them within like a week and a half. They'll like that shot. They will like that shot a lot. Top spin is the name of the game. All right, here we roll. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if we can catch that fairway over there on the other side. That wind is going to help us. What we're going to do is catch it. Stay. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. Now, this next shot is no easy feat, and I've only been able to take this next shot once. I've only practiced it one time, and it is not by any means an easy shot to get yourself around that corner. The deal is it's not so much about getting on the green and trying to get it in the hole. It's getting as close to the green so that your next shot is as easy as possible. Now I've got a power 4 ball here, so my red line is going to be better than where it was the last time I was in this shot, because last time I was here I think I had a power 5 ball last time, so I might be a little bit worse off. I'm thinking it's going to take at least 1 or 2 top spin. I'm gonna do 1 1/4 topspin. 2-2. It's 1.8 per ring. That leaves me 4. It's about a little less than a ring and a quarter. Max curl. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if I can walk myself around the corner and get myself up into my wedge range. I could put just a little teeny bit more topspin on that. Now this is no walk in the park shot right here, so we'll see whether I can do a regular rapier topspin shot or whether I have to do like where I'm at in my club. It looks like it's more towards mid club. Mid club with my rapier is 2.4 per ring. Maximum is 1.2. And I've been doing a little bit of an adjustment to the cup. So we'll see what the look is. Just a bit outside. All right, here we roll. Okay, there's max. So there's mid. I'm eking towards mid club. Times 3.1 equals divided by 2.4. It's like 1.5 rings. Hitting it perfect. See if I got my wind adjustment right. In the hole! Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Finally picking one up. That shot was still no gimme down there, but I still think that I left a little bit on the table. I left a little bit on the table. Good luck in the tournament. All right, that was the front 9. I did pick up 1. I need to pick up 2 per side, so I only got 1 of them done. Now, I did learn some stuff for the back, and I've made some adjustments. I picked up everything I was supposed to pick up, and I got the eagle on hole number 9. So I'm close on a lot of these holes. Part of the deal is we've been having varying winds, and while I'm still up there and close and not putting the minimum score at risk, I'm not adjusting good enough to the varying winds as far as like getting it into the hole. Sometimes that may help you because you may be off a little bit and then the wind changes and that adjustment you were doing now is right for that particular wind. But I've been missing it on a lot of these holes that I really need to pick up, these par 3s. I mean, I've been right all over them, and I have had some success this week on the par 3s. So I got a big, tall order on the back. So on the back, I need to pick up 3 shots in order to get me at 28. And I think it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible if I want to get in the top 10. I think that's what I'm going to have to shoot. All right, that was the front 9 of the Stateside Classic Tournament in my Ricky practice account. Thanks for watching.